Yeah, what happened? Till now, I think so. I completed when the human beings had actually responded in a very proper manner. Here, the intellect is one of the faculties involved in three aforementioned answer. Okay, so intellect means what? Intellect is nothing but how much intellect you are. Intellect is one of the faculties involved in three aforementioned answer to question arising out of the man curiosity about the world. But the answer provided by philosophy and science are entirely based on human intellect. Intellect is nothing but the how we are actually answering through the questions which are bound by us. Uh, the philosophy and science is totally based on human intellect. Okay, so whichever studies are happening in the science and philosophy, it is totally based on the human intellect. And human intellect is formed by your thinking, how you are questioning and answering. That does not mean the imagination thrown out from the middle ear. Many thinkers used to imagine to find answer in times observation and experimentation. Okay, but here the imagination was regulated by intellect. Only the ideas to test, raise, and retain themselves philosophical. One realized that events takes place other fully force in the world itself. So here they are saying that uh, intellect is one of the faculties involves three aforementioned answer to the question arising out of the man curiosity about the world. So intellect is starts from when the humans are asking questions about this world, but the answer provided by the philosophy department and the science are entirely based on human intellect. Like whatever questions are arising towards this world, like what is and why is philosophy. So the answer which are provided by philosophy and and science is totally based on human intellect, and that does not mean imagination is thrown out of the window here. So it does not mean human intellect are giving the answer. It does not mean imagination is thrown out. Many thinkers use their imagination to find answer in times with observation and experimentation were severely limited. So, in the earlier times, there were many thinkers. They used the imagination only because at that time there were no observation, there was no experiment technology was there. So at that time, what they are doing, they are just thinking only and try to give the answer. But here, the imagination was regulated by intellect. But that time the imagination, but here if you say presently, the imagination is also regulated by the human intellect. Like your imagination, my imagination is totally based on present day according to our knowledge. Only the ideas that stood the test of reason written themselves in philosophy, and only the ideas is actually stood the test of reason and written themselves in philosophical thinking. One realized that the events taking place in this world aren't caused by other faulty force. So one person thought that whatever is happening in this world, it is not happening because of other faulty force. Okay, is aren't caused by other faulty force, but by other events in this world itself. So one person, as thinking about one person, said that whatever happenings in this world, okay, and in this world whatever is happening or taking place, it is not happening because of the supernatural force. It is happening because of other events. Like the rain is happening because of this thing, the summer is happening because of this thing. Okay, but people used to believe that if the rain is happening, the god is totally upset, that's why the rain is happening. No. So one person thought that no, whatever taking place in this world, it is happening because of the other events itself. Okay, so one began to perceive cause and effect relation. Okay, so slowly the person begins to perceive the cause and effect relation. Example, river flowed not as a result of god fury. So perceive as a cause. So slowly they started, before they were imagining and trying to answer, but now slowly they were started, ideas were becoming more accurate on the basis of their human intellect. So one began to perceive cause and effect relation. So one began to perceive the cause and effect relation. Example: the river flowed. The river is flowing. The high tide is coming, not as the result of the God fury, but as a result of excessive rainfall in some of their catchment areas. So humans started thinking scientifically. Before they were thinking in a mythological way. They were thinking that the rain flood is happening because of the god furies, but now they started thinking that the rain flood is happening because of the high rainfall. And one began to recognize the interesting facts such as the water in liquid state assumes the gaseous form when it evaporates and the solid form when it freezes. So one began to recognize the water also. The water is turning into liquid, then gas, then solid. And this initial consideration propelled philosophical thinking. And this initial, the people started considering this, and this is propelled the philosophical thinking. The world is full of different things with different properties. So this world, the world, if you look at the world is full of different things and different properties. Not a single thing you will see the same. There are so many different things are there in this world, even the living object and non-living object. Philosophers and thinking realize that there is similarities underlying apparent diversity. So philosopher thinking have realized that no, there are so many diversities are there, but there is something which is similar. Okay, something which is similarities are there of this diversity. One began to contemplate that there might be a something extrasensory, imperceptible beyond the perception and sensory world. Okay, so one might thought that there might be a something which is extrasensory, which cannot be perceivable beyond the sensory world. And the quest for abstract principle began. So philosopher of thinking realized that there is something which is beyond the which we cannot see, which we cannot sense. And then the philosopher started thinking about the abstract principle. Okay, and the very early philosophers were eager to know the fundamental principle of the universe. So earlier philosophers were more curious to know about what is the basic elements of this universe, how this universe is formed. Okay, the generative principle of the world. They need to understand the fundamental plus generative principle of the world, and they ponder on the exact possible number of such principle and the nature of interplay that form. And while thinking that, then they landed into the such principle, the nature of interplay form the diversified wall. And later overview list of fundamental principle of the universe declared by some the pre-Socratic Greek philosopher. So obviously when they look at this world, they need to find out that how this world is formed. There are something base is there, and because of this base this world is formed. So they had landed into the Greek philosopher. So there were some prehistoric, okay, there were some pre-Socratic periods who had established there. You know what? I want to tell you that this philosophy subject is all about the imagination. So it is better whatever I am saying it, just try to imagine it. Okay. So just imagine that in the earlier time, the philosopher were thinking by their mythology. Whatever in the world is happening, they believe that it is happening because of the other god force. But now they started thinking scientifically, and there were some big philosophers. They had said that like this universe is formed by basic uh, principle, thesis, waters, and this. Okay, you can see fire. Clear. Now I'm stopping here.